1 and 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1, up on your toes, 2, 3, bend your knees, 1 and 2, 3, 4. Hi friends, so I'll be reading a series of 3 articles I wrote about the arms swinging exercise. The first is called The Full Story Behind This Hilariously Effective Exercise. The second is called Testimonials, Research and Potential Mechanisms of Action. And the third is on practical advice. If you're interested in receiving articles like this in your mailbox, you can subscribe on mentalhealthrevolution.org. Dear friend, I dream of a world where everyone swings their arms together. Lol. Seriously. Arms what? Arms swinging. It's my favorite restorative exercise and one of the 10 self-care practices in my daily wellness empowerment program. It's a very simple exercise which only takes 10 minutes, yet it's deeply calming and revitalizing for the body and mind. If you haven't tried it yet, I invite you to follow this video every night for a month, making sure you get all the details right and see how it makes you feel. So you can find this on my YouTube. And yes, you should also work with that Japanese cherry blossom swirling around you. As of this writing, I've introduced about 2,000 people to arm swinging. People's typical reaction goes through 3 stages. 1. Looking at the exercise. This is ridiculous. 2. After trying it for 10 minutes. This feels so good. 3. After doing it for a month. Oh my god, I have to tell everyone about this. This arm swinging exercise does look funny, even to me after all these years. A side effect of doing it, especially as a group, is that passers-by stare at us and smile. The most fervent arm swingers can then wittily proselytize. Want to swing by? But in this series of articles, I will try very hard to focus on the serious side of this wonderful, though still ridiculous, exercise and answer all the questions my friends ask me about it. My first introduction to arm swinging. Jitkan is the name of the arm swinging variation practiced in Vietnam. The first time I heard about an arm swinging Qigong was in 2008 in Plum Village, France. I had just arrived at the monastery to ordain, and the Vietnamese venerable, not Thich Nhat Hanh, but another very elderly monk, who was in his 70s, repeatedly showed us an arm swinging exercise called Yet Kan Kin, and claimed that practicing it religiously for a few months had cured his kidney cancer. I found it strange that the venerable was so enthusiastic about this silly looking exercise and even attributed his cancer recovery to it. I tried the exercise, but to be honest, I did not see any benefit. In 2011, while I was living in our branch monastery in Thailand, another brother, also of Vietnamese origin, religiously practiced the same Viet Can Kin arm swinging exercise and formed a small group of brothers to practice together with him. I decided to try the exercise again and joined. This time I was more committed and practiced for about half an hour every afternoon for 1.5 months, but still no tangible results. It's time to give some background on arm swinging exercises. There's no one arm swinging exercise, but a variety of them. They are grouped under the umbrella term Baibi Yundong. And by the way, when reading these articles, I'm very sorry to my Chinese-speaking readers because I'll just be butchering all of the Chinese words, and I invite you to look at the Chinese characters to understand what I'm talking about. Swinging arms exercises, sometimes Shuai Qigong, swinging arms Qigong, and form an important family of Qigong, the energetic exercises developed by Taoists in China. In Vietnam, a neighboring country dominated by China for 1,000 years, the most popular arm swinging Qigong is called Viet Can Kin. Viet Can Kin is the Sino-Vietnamese, which is Chinese pronounced the Vietnamese way, for Yi Jin Jing. Viet means change, Can means tendons, and Kin is a sacred text. The exercise takes its name from the Tendons Changing Classic, an important Taoist scripture written in the 17th century, which contains a number of physical exercises. So these are some of the exercises in the Yi Jin Jing. According to the author of the Yi Jin Jing, these exercises all trace back to Bodhidharma, the first Chinese Zen patriarch. Bodhidharma, 6th century, and the translation here is arm swing diligently and then don't trust everything you read on the internet. This is not the translation, I'm just trolling you. Bodhidharma, fully enlightened monk, founder of Shaolin Kung Fu, and arm swinging promulgator. According to modern historians, this is bullshit. But I won't comment on this point because I am politically correct when it comes to the Shaolin monks' favorite patriarch for both ecumenical and personal safety reasons. It's worth noting that the way the Tendons Changing Classic is interpreted by the Chinese is different from the way it is interpreted by the Vietnamese. And that, as far as I'm aware, the arm swinging exercise that the Vietnamese call Viet Can Kin has no equivalent outside the Vietnamese community. If you know more about this, actually please don't hesitate to write in the comments. Despite its questionable origin, many Vietnamese people faithfully practice the Viet Can Kin arm swinging exercise and claim to have cured many diseases with it. I've watched a number of videos and read a few booklets about it and found the testimonials very impressive. In the Viet Can Kin arm swinging exercise, the practitioner keeps their arms rigid and swings their arms rapidly while contracting their lower abdominal muscles and anal sphincter. The theory behind this last point, no pun intended, is to create a pressure in the lower dantian, the area including the navel and below, which Taoists consider to be the energetic center of the human body, in order to accumulate qi, or energy. In practice, however, I found that swinging my arms rapidly and keeping my muscles contracted was not very relaxing and did not benefit my health. The first arm swinging exercise that worked for me. 2012 was an important year in my life, so please allow me to digress here as it will provide important context for the rest of our arm swinging odyssey. While still in Thailand, I had a serious health crisis. I had never been so sick in my life. I had spent a whole month in bed and was beginning to despair, as neither the modern Western hospital nor the acupuncturist could help me. A Thai friend told me about a doctor named Jaipet Klachon, nicknamed Dr. Green, who teaches self-care for free in popular seminars. I made the trip, not expecting much, but after the first day of practicing his techniques, I felt better. By the end of the second day, I was back to normal, and on the third day, I joined his community's work in the rice field. Dr. Japet Klachon, aka Dr. Green, one of my heroes. As you can imagine, this series of events made a deep impression on me. Two things in particular shocked me. How much pain physical illness can cause, and that there were simple, free, and effective ways to take care of my health that no one had ever told me about. When I returned to the monastery, I vowed to learn everything I could about physical self-care. First, to take better care of myself, and then to share with others. Aspi brain on, Bodhisattva heart lit, mad scientist mode activated. In addition to continuing to learn and experiment with Dr. Clyde Jones' 9 self-care practices, which are the whole food plant-based diet, exercise, green juices and urine therapy, clay and charcoal, gua sha, hands and feet herbal bath, enemas, energy management, and Dhamma meditation, I also learned about our world's traditional medicines, Chinese, Ayurvedic, Greek, African, health and self-care in the original community of the Buddha, the 19th to 21st century naturopathic movement in the West, lifestyle medicine and modern approaches to self-care, research on the blue zones, the longest living populations, exercise, mostly yoga and qigong, diets, macrobiotics, raw and so on, fasting, water fast, dry fast, juice fast, whether short or long, and various cleanses, juicing, herbal medicine, breath work such as the alternate nostrils, pranayama, Wim Hof, and so on, inner energetic work, Amyung Krikom, Kundalini, and so on, auto massage, acupressure, rubbing, paida, cold and heat exposure, cupping, moxibustion, and other things I'm too embarrassed to mention here. At the beginning of my search for natural self-care practices, I stumbled upon the first arm swinging exercise that worked for me in a beautiful book called Kam Nang Zeong Sin Tom Kin Lak, a manual on nourishing life and clearing the meridians. That's the cover of the book. It's a great manual on self-care in traditional Chinese medicine. Nourishing life here refers to the self-care practices of Taoism, and the meridians are our body's energetic pathways that, according to traditional Chinese medicine, when clogged, produce disease, and when cleared, provide health. The author, a Chinese doctor, tells the following story. One day he was at home and looked out the window and saw a man standing in his backyard staring at his roof. He came out of his house and asked the man, "Can I help you?" The man replied, "I'm looking at your security system because I need to buy one for my house, but yours doesn't look very good. I could easily climb onto your roof." The doctor was surprised because although the man was of a certain age, his back was straight, his eyes were bright, and he had a strong life force. The doctor, ever curious, asked the man how he cared for his health. And the man replied, "In my youth, I wasted my health by partying and sleeping at irregular hours. I became frail and looked for solutions. I heard there was a Taoist hermit on a mountain who could help, so I went to see him. He gave me only one exercise. Standing, I swing my arms in a relaxed manner, keeping them quite straight but not stiff and parallel to each other. Every time my hands come up to chest height, I stand on my toes, and every time they come down, I bring my heels back to the ground. I have been swinging my arms in this way religiously, and my health has been strong ever since." I tried this exercise and it worked for me. The exercise was extremely simple, yet it promoted the flow of energy throughout my entire body in a way that felt good, natural, and deeply grounding. but still it wasn't quite there. The main problem was that after about 10 minutes my calves started to burn, which meant that I could not practice this arm swinging exercise comfortably for too long. Ping Choi Kong, an arm swinging breakthrough. These are some Ping Choi Kong instructors. In 2013, when I was back at my root monastery in France, I saw two brothers doing a different kind of arm swinging. They were swinging their arms naturally and squatting on every fifth count. I asked them about it and they kindly lent me their arm swinging DVD. And yes, seriously, a whole DVD on arms swinging. I was very impressed by the self-healing testimonials, the simplicity of the exercise, and the kindness of the instructors. Ping Choi Kong seemed great, but as Dr. Gregor likes to say, you don't know until you put it to the test. So I put it to the test. And yes, it was great. It reduced tension and pain, regulated my nervous system, promoted energy flow throughout my body, and made my whole body buzz with peace and energy. This is Li Fengshan Shifu, the creator of Ping Choi Gong. Master Li Fengshan is a well-known Wushu, Qigong and Tai Chi master and head of the Mainmeng Qigong Culture Center in Taipei, Taiwan. He realized that most people don't have the time and motivation for a complex Qigong routine, so he set out to find a simple, universal exercise to help the health of the world and created Ping Choi Kong. Based on the Yi Jing Jing 17th century that we've talked about earlier, and Master Chang Sang Feng's Tai Chi Gong around the 12th century. Master Chang Sang Feng is the legendary founder of Tai Chi Chuan. According to his biography, and I'm not making this up, Chang Sang Feng was born sometime between 600 and 1600 AD, perhaps sometime during the Song dynasty or maybe the Yuan dynasty, but exactly at midnight on the 4th of April 1247. And he lived precisely between the years 960 and 1126. Also, he was very tall, his beard reached his navel, his hair touched the ground. Oh, I see, that's why he took long Tai Chi steps, to avoid stepping on his hair. Sorry, I got distracted. Ping means even, regular, Shuai means swinging, and Gong means exercise. Ping Choi Kong is an exercise in which one swings their arms evenly. According to the Mainmeng Qigong Culture Center, over 100,000 people have started practicing Ping Choi Kong and benefited greatly, both physically and mentally. Here are some inspiring quotes from their booklet. Ping Choi Gong appears to be an ordinary exercise, but if you learn it well and do it every day, its effects can be extraordinary. Most people are afraid of illnesses because they do not have a correct health routine to follow. When we have such a routine, its benefits will take root inside of us. A person who practices Qigong every day has a huge store of life-sustaining energy and stays confident and composed in the face of crisis. The first rule of learning Qigong is to follow a good exercise and practice every day. Stick to one exercise until you have a complete understanding of the what, how, and why of this exercise. Faith and confidence will grow out of persistence, and so will an inexhaustible life force. I love that this exercise is so simple and effective and that they promote it for free all over the world. If I ever visit Taiwan, I will definitely try to meet Ping Choi Kong instructors. However, as amazing as I found the Ping Choi Kong arm swinging exercise, I felt that it could be improved. Although they tell you to bend your knees only as far as feels loose and comfortable, most instructors demonstrate squatting quite low, which may make the exercise more strengthening, but less restorative, which is the actual purpose of the exercise. Please allow me to unpack this because it is important. I think of physical exercises as more or less strengthening or restorative. A strengthening exercise is one that puts pressure on the heart, lungs, and muscles. Think of running, push-ups, and weightlifting. And a restorative exercise is one that makes you more flexible, loose, and increases circulation throughout your body, but, and this is key, without making you tired. Think yin yoga, auto massage, and gentle forms of qigong. Of course, it's a continuum, and most exercises fall somewhere in the middle of that continuum, as in the case of sun salutations in yoga, for instance, which are a mix of stretching, gentle cardio, and light muscle mobilization. And while we do need strengthening exercises, there is great value in having a strictly restorative exercise in our lives. A purely restorative exercise is an exercise we can return to again and again, even when we are tired, sick, or aging, without risk of injury. It releases tension, reduces pain, regulates our nervous system, and activates the self-healing mechanisms of our body and mind. A purely restorative exercise can be the foundation of our exercise routine because it ensures that our body stays free of tension and recovers well from more strenuous movements. Cracking the arms swinging code. It felt like a mission of the utmost importance to take arm swinging to the next level, to create the ultimate arm swinging exercise, to finally crack the arms swinging code. Arm swinging like a walnut, me like a walnut cracker, unless it was just me, totally nuts. It took me about 1.5 years to analyze the most popular health qigong exercises and not just arm swinging, extract their common movements and principles, observe the natural movements of the body, particularly walking and grabbing, generate dozens of different arm swinging exercises, experiment with them repeatedly, take notes, make drawings, reflect, compare all of these arm swinging exercises, and finally pick out the most effective of them all. And now I'll be describing to you, my friends, my arm swinging epiphany. This is the objective view. This is what it looked like in actual reality, just me drawing the 1 and 2, 3, 4, so on. After the first count, you rise on your toes, and you see the little toe rising. 2, 3, 4, and on the fourth count, you bend your knees very gently, dipping down twice. This is the objective view. Now, this is the subjective view. This is just me cracking life and the universe and stuff, and just being a genius. But this is subjective. The mission was complete. I could almost die in peace. The ultimate arm swinging, in my not so humbled but empirical view, is a combination of Ping Shuai Gong, but with a minimal knee bend once every 4 counts instead of 5, and the toe rising, each spaced by a normal swing. Watch this. 1, 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1, up on your toes, 2, 3, bend your knees. Definitely worth an animated GIF. That's it. You finally know the full story behind the Daily Wellness Empowerment Programs. Wonderful, amazing, dare I say, awe-inspiring, but still ridiculous, arms swinging exercise. In the next article, I write about the therapeutic effects of arm swinging and suggest potential mechanisms of action. Until then, happy arms swinging.